Take a second. Stop whatever you are doing right now.
Dim the lights, settle in, and pay close attention if you really care about Lynette Hooker and want to see justice served.
You are in exactly the right place for the truth.
Seriously, I am not joking around today. What we are about to uncover in this bizarre case of Brian and Lynette Hooker is going to freeze your blood and leave you absolutely stunned.
We all know this case has dragged on for months. And honestly, we are all tired of hearing the same repetitive stories, right? But tonight, we have two major new updates that nobody else is talking about.
Can you believe that Brian's own elite federal defense lawyer privately looked him straight in the eye and delivered a brutal 4-word warning? You are so screwed.
Yes.
His own attorney admitted the feds have him cornered, telling him to stay quiet and refuse any kind of cooperation.
But wait, it gets even more terrifying.
This is not his first brush with the law. Records show Brian was previously on trial for brutally choking his own 12-year-old daughter.
Just take a moment and really think about that.
If a man can choke his own flesh and blood, what is he capable of doing to his wife out in the pitch-black ocean?
It makes your blood run cold, doesn't it?
Now, stay right here with me, because today we are digging into raw files and hidden details that have never been seen anywhere else on the internet.
Do not even think about skipping a single second of this case breakdown, because you will miss the most critical piece of the puzzle.
Let's get serious and look at what else he was hiding. So, how did this high-profile legal nightmare actually start?
The shocking truth leaked out from deep investigative sources connected to journalist Ashley Banfield. She revealed that Brian Hooker completely dropped his local Michigan lawyer, Crystal Marie Hauser,
and quietly hired a ruthless,
top-tier federal defense attorney with extensive Department of Justice experience. Why would an innocent husband desperately need a high-stakes federal specialist unless charges were heading his way? This new attorney took one look at the heavy evidence and delivered that terrifying 4-word warning directly to Brian. He warned Brian Hooker, "You are so screwed."
Brian was ordered to keep his mouth shut,
cut off his own family, and refuse any communication with the Coast Guard.
This total wall of silence makes you sick to your stomach, doesn't it?
Why would a grieving husband hide behind a legal shield instead of helping search for his missing wife?
The reason is incredibly chilling, and it connects directly to a hidden past that will make your blood run cold. Did you know this is not Brian's first time facing violent charges?
Official court records reveal he was previously put on trial for brutally choking his own 12-year-old daughter. He barely managed to escape on a legal technicality. The files detail several prior bad acts that never led to a conviction, right?
One charge went to trial, and he was acquitted of choking his 12-year-old daughter.
Just stop and ask yourself right now, what do you think he did to his wife out in that deep, dark ocean?
This terrifying revelation completely shatters his innocent victim routine, pointing the finger of guilt straight at him.
It completely changes how we interpret his entire behavior. Picture yourself in a courtroom, listening to how a father choked his own flesh and blood. Would you ever buy his story about a tragic accident? No way. This uncharged brutality shows a terrifying pattern of physical rage. But guess what? Federal investigators were already 2 steps ahead of his silent strategy. While Brian kept his mouth shut, federal investigators were quietly racing toward Marsh Harbor to seize the physical crime scene. As Brian kept his mouth shut under strict advice from his lawyers, federal agents from the Coast Guard Investigative Service were already working quietly to tear his timeline to shreds. They officially seized the couple's 46-foot Morgan sailboat, a vessel named Soulmate,
Along with its tiny dinghy,
and towed them away to a heavily guarded federal impound lot in southern Florida.
Now, ask yourself, why would investigators seize a multi-million-dollar yacht if this was just an accident? They did it because inside that cramped, tiny boat, Forensic teams discovered something that completely shattered Brian's defense. They swabbed the tight living quarters and found a highly complex mixed DNA profile, with biological fluids hidden deep in the cracks of the boat. The presence of these hidden fluids proves a violent struggle happened inside that tight space before Lynette vanished. To confirm this physical nightmare, federal investigators rushed straight to Lynette's traumatized family a few weeks later. They demanded emergency DNA swabs and medical dental records from her father, Dan, her mother, Darlene, and her daughter, Carly. These specific biological samples were needed to isolate the victim's DNA from the mixture and prove exactly whose blood was spilled in that cabin. Imagine the pure terror young Carly felt, realizing federal agents were testing her DNA to match fluids from her mother's home. This scientific breakthrough totally shatters Brian's story about Lynette simply bouncing off the boat during rough seas. If she simply fell overboard like he claims, why on earth is there a hidden mixture of biological fluids inside the sailboat's living quarters? It makes absolutely no sense, right? The physical evidence suggests she never actually made it to the open ocean safely. But here is the worst part. It is not just the blood found inside that boat. The true depth of Brian's cold-blooded planning shows in how he behaved right after she disappeared. While forensic teams were searching that sailboat and uncovering hidden biological evidence, Brian was busy putting on a massive television performance for the world. He actually sobbed in front of media cameras, claiming he loved his wife so much that it would take a literal, divine higher power to make him leave the Bahamas without her. But guess what? That supreme higher power turned out to be a commercial flight the very next morning. Journalist Ashley Banfield exposed the chilling truth that while Brian was crying for the cameras, he was secretly working with the American consulate behind the scenes to fast-track an emergency passport to escape. This shameless show of guilt completely destroys his grieving husband act, doesn't it? He promised he would stay until they found her. But within 12 hours, he packed his bags and fled. Once he slipped back into America, his behavior grew even more cold-blooded. He completely froze out his own family, refusing to send a single text or make a call to comfort Lynette's shattered daughter, Carly, for 8 straight weeks. Not a single word to her mother, Darlene, or her father, Dan, either. Let that sink in. If your innocent wife tragically drowned in the ocean, wouldn't you hold your daughter tight and cry together? Instead, he chose absolute freezing silence. The exact timing of his escape proves he wasn't running from grief. He was fleeing the law before anyone had even accused him of murder. Jurors don't leave their common sense at the door, and this disturbing behavior screams guilt. But his cold calculations didn't stop with a fraudulent passport and family betrayal. His real motive was wrapped around a massive pile of cash. Brian completely drained his own retirement funds while staring at Lynette's untouched $700,000 retirement fund, an account he can't even touch without a death certificate. To seal the trap, federal agents scoured his devices, uncovering his secret chat history with Google Gemini. This digital blueprint proves he used AI to generate fake tracking maps for a false alibi. Now, the DOJ is moving forward with a powerful no-body conviction precedent. Share your thoughts below. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to expose the real truth. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.